Hello, hi everyone. Once again, welcome back to our YouTube channel. As in last video, we have discussed regarding the first round of interview, and my profile went further. And I am expecting there is some further discussions also there is going to be happen. And as of now, the second interview discussion also got completed, and it went through virtually only. As I said in earlier video itself, like they are expecting some kind of DevSecOps stuff also, as I am into DevOps, and they are expecting something into sec perspective also. And in this particular discussion, they mainly focused on some advanced DevOps as well as DevSecOps concepts. And I have written questions what I have faced in the particular discussion interview, and this is definitely helpful for me, as well as it is also going to helpful for you if you are attending DevOps or DevSecOps or some cloud related roles. You can expect these kind of questions and scenarios likewise. So without further ado, let's enter into the video and have a discussion on each questions. I have listed down like some almost 10 questions, and in between there is some kind of cross questions as well, and some scenario based questions and some general talks, general communication conversation also went. And if we discuss about the questions, let's say if there is a one CI/CD pipeline, how can you make sure to secure that particular CI/CD pipeline? What actions do you take to secure that? And as per like my understanding regarding that, as I said, I have a experience of using a Sonar Cube, and I have after completing my first round of interview, I have thoroughly prepared on the security concepts as well. Some tools I have explored, and I see some variety of open source tools comes under SAST, DAST, and secret scanning, and IAC scanning, that is infrastructure as a code scanning, container scanning, like that. And I mean, based upon that scenario, I have considered, let's say, if we wanted to achieve a SAST, we can integrate a SAST security tool into our pipeline. The pipeline, whatever we are using, let's say Jenkins, we can integrate that into a pipeline. And let's say if we are using any tools, and there might be some administration session where we need to provide a role-based access only, and try to maintain a least privilege access. Okay, that is the always best practice. And also one more thing, while to make sure the CI/CD pipeline is secure or not, make sure to we need to use the environment variables. And if it is in AWS, there is a kind of AWS secret manager, where secret management tool, secret manager only, I think, in tool name itself. And we can use that to instead of hard coding the credentials, we can use that to store the credentials. And we can use some tools to integrate into your pipelines. For example, secure, as I said, the Sonar Cube, Snyk also another tool is there, open source Trivia also there, and OWASP tools also there. And for like in each stage, I divided the CI/CD into a stages wise, from develop stage, from build, first develop, build, after that test, and release, and deploy. That might be prod, QA, or UAT. And in each stage we can integrate these tools. Let's say if we wanted to integrate a dash, we can integrate that into our production and before production enrollment, let's say UAT or testing enrollment. And that is how I have clearly explained the CI/CD pipeline, how we can secure that. And it is a kind of a real time question. Let's say if you are working as a DevOps engineer, what are the security challenges did you face especially? I have explained, let's say if I'm working on IAC tool, we I have misconfigured some credentials into that. And let's say if I'm using some code vulnerabilities, for scanning code vulnerabilities especially, for that we need to use the security scanning tools, right? At that time, while setting up those, we are facing some issues. And providing least access privileges also, I faced some it's kind of challenge for me. And I have explained some pointers regarding this. And how do you prevent a DDoS attack on AWS? Like, this is a kind of a real time where DDoS, in the sense where the full form was the distributed denial of services, where, let's say, if one application was up and running, one website was up and running, this particular DDoS attack will make sure the application go offline, the server crash, like that. Let's say if we wanted to prevent this particular action on AWS, what can be the like situation? I explained about there is a one concept called auto scaling. By using that, if the request was very high on that particular server, then it will automatically increases the infrastructure based on the traffic it was receiving as a input. And there is a one service called AWS Cloud Front, where we can check the responses, and if any attacks, some sudden or intermittent attacks, and we can also monitor the traffic within the AWS, like whatever is flowing through the VPC. And we can check the logs to detect any suspicious activities. And let's say if as a DevSecOps engineer, how do you handle a compliance within the DevSecOps environment? Definitely, in that case, as being a DevSecOps engineer, he put in a situation. Let's say if you are a DevSecOps engineer, and in that case, how do you handle a compliance within the DevSecOps environment? What actions or uh, like best possible solutions or steps do you take in that case? I explained my case. Let's say we can implement a policy as a code, where we can enforce the security policies by using we can use Terraform for policy as a code also. And there is a one concept called automating compliance checkups. There is a dedicated tools as well. You may heard a chef inspect, like a TF inspect, where it will inspect the Terraform, like IAC, infrastructure as a code. And it is like a chef inspect, where it will automatically checks the compliance policies. And if it is in AWS, there is a dedicated service within the AWS called AWS config, where that will make sure to handle the compliance within the DevSecOps environment. And I'm not sure, there is a other more ways also. And to get the overview, I'm just giving what is my take on that, my view on that, like that. And coming to the another question, how do you automate the patch management? Let's say if you found one vulnerability or some crash or something, in that case, how can you manage that? Okay, how do you automate patch management, automating of patch management? To be frank, in real scenario, I haven't worked on any such kind of tools which automatically performs a patch. And I got the question clearly. Let's say if there is a particular, it's like a process of identifying vulnerabilities and perform testing and mitigating them. I'm also exactly not sure. I need to read more about this particular thing, which is mostly into DevSecOps, we can say. And the further question was, what is OWASP top 10 and how do you mitigate these risks? Regarding the OWASP is nothing but some open worldwide application security testing. It was open web application security testing. Each and every year, mostly they will release some kind of top 10 OWASP findings or some vulnerabilities like that. They will list down, and it is like international standards, how there are some other international standards also, like PPA something, and SOC also one of the international standard, and CSOC also one of the international standard, and CERTIN also one of the international standards. And there are many international standards, and this is one of the international. In that, there are some critical security risks will be listed in that particular OWASP top 10. And earlier I don't know about that and all. And while exploring other things regarding the DevSecOps, I get to know this. And in that mainly includes SQL injection. Let's say if something security misconfiguration is there, that will automate security scans in the CI/CD process as a DevSecOps engineer. And if there is insecure, what we can say, some insecure data is there, that will be the one of the aspect of OWASP top 10. And some insufficient logging and monitoring. I'm exactly not sure all the 10, but there is a 10 components. I remember only 3 or 4. Some authentication authorization 1, and SQL injection 2, and data misconfiguration, and security misconfiguration, I think I already said, and some sensitive data exposure. There are different things. If you are interested, you can explore that, and it will be some real-time cases where you might also face this situation. Okay, now moving to the further question, how do you implement security in infrastructure as a code? We all know infrastructure as a code by using Terraform. I mean, in our project we use Terraform for that, and by using ISA tool, how can we achieve security in that particular point of case? I listed down we can use HashiCorp Vault to store the secrets, and it's like a secret manager in AWS. In Terraform, we can use the HashiCorp Vault, and I think that is only one point. And one more point also I got that was we can restrict the permissions. Within the Terraform, there is a policy file where we can restrict, not a file, it is we need to specify in the script itself, based on the role which configured, let's say if it is AWS configured, and based on the role itself within that first particular file, we can specify there is a .tf file, right? Within that we can specify policies to restrict some other permissions, and let's say if some developer don't wanted to look into these, we can restrict, and developer no need to write something, he can view like that based on the policies, he can restrict. And the further follow-up question was let's say there is a API, how can you secure by using DevOps workflow? To be I haven't worked on this, but in DevOps perspective, I have answered in this way, we can restrict the direct access to the backend services by using a API gateways. And one more thing was by authentication and authorization, where the login and access will be given. There we can use what we can say, there is a API auto tokens, API policies, I think gateway policies, something policies is there, we can use that in the DevOps flow. This is how we can secure the API, and there might be some other ways also to achieve that. And coming to the further question, what is DevSecOps security tools did you use it? Yeah, initially he asked what is DevSecOps according to you, and what majorly differs the DevOps and DevSecOps workflow, and what tools have you used, DevSecOps tools have you used like that. As I said, I have explored some kind of open source tools, which is Trivi, Snake, both open source as well as community, and SonarQube also there, and OWASP tools, OWASP dependency check, OWASP Zap also there, Z-Attack proxy. And yeah, I think these are the tools I have told, and I have clearly explained what exactly the DevOps and DevSecOps, where it will bring a difference. In DevOps, it majorly focuses on speed. In DevSecOps, along with the speed, security is most concerned. And in each stage in the software development lifecycle, there is a security check starting from planning stage itself. If you see in DevOps, there is no any tool, but in DevSecOps there is a tool called threat modeling, and Microsoft threat modeling tool like that. Tools is there. And if you see in let's say development phase, in DevOps there is no dedicated security in development stage, but in DevSecOps there is a IDE plugin integration. Let's say there is a tool called Fortify, where we can integrate that into a DevOps developer environment IDE itself, and likewise many. And the follow-up question was, let's say if there is a cloud environment, whatever it might be, if there is some breach, let's say security breach in that particular thing, in that case, don't consider any real scenario, you just consider being a DevOps engineer, how can you handle this situation? Like that he asked a question. I have not full-fledged answer. I haven't gave a full-fledged answer for this, where I have explained where we can use some recovery. There we need to maintain some backups for in these scenarios where cloud environment security breach is there, and also we need to go through our cloud environment. If there is any malicious or suspicious files are there, we need to remove them and I think only these are the things. I haven't triggered much points at that time, and later I get to know like there are different evaluation techniques and some kind of what we can say, we can perform root cause analysis and checking logs, metrics, and there is a like if we check that, we'll get to know at least in one pointer we can find if is it something odd is happening in the cloud environment or something like that. Yeah, I think these are some pretty good questions, and there are some more kind of discussion happened, as I said in the beginning, and there are some problem statements also, but I haven't exactly remembered that, but I have some idea on that. I will try to write down said that in a paper or somewhere, and I will try to share in upcoming videos if possible. And yeah, so definitely I will share further more any updates there regarding this, and some tips or something based upon your questions also I will respond on that. And yeah, I think it is pretty good to close the video now, and yeah, we'll meet in another video with some good experiences or some pointers. Okay, then see you, bye.